Alright guys, so I want to share with you how I use the back of the room, the wall, to teach sometimes. So these posters here, this was just a face chart from Sebastian, and what I did is I blew it up and laminated it. In doing so, I'm able to use dry erase markers on it and erase it. So this is awesome. This cost $15 from our district. We have like a media center, and then they do booklets, and you can do die cuts and posters and things like that for the teachers of the district. So that is where I got that from. And then this one here is another face chart, and this one is from Mac. And all I did is just blow up the image, and they made the poster and laminated. Okay, so as the students are sitting down at their desk and they're, working on that same sheet or something similar, then I'm here with red tends to be a color that they can see well from all the way from behind the board and stands out. And then of course on this one I'll be showing you how to do eyebrow design, and on that one I'll be showing how to do eyeliner design. So these are just easy. I just staple. It's just paper, so if it gets too many holes after a while, I just make a new one. And so then I come back here and I talk about the different angles of the brows and how to do the outline and such. So that is how I use the back of the room as the front of the room sometimes. Alright guys, so I want to show you when we do eyebrow designs, how I teach it to the students. I do apologize for the background noise. There's another class going on in the room on the other side, and the partition is not closed all the way. So the freshmen, one thing I teach them is how to do eyebrow designs, and then also how to do eyeliner, different techniques, how to use math, geometry, and anatomy, using the anatomy and physiology of the human body to create the designs. Okay, so I'll be going through how to do this. So again, this is the journal that has all of their face charts and all of that, so that way I don't have to make copies. I've already made the journal, and all the students have this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and begin our layout of how the eyebrow is designed. So you want to take a straight edge, okay? And you're going to start on the outskirts of the nose, and you're going to draw a line upward. Okay. If you were doing this on a person, you could use a makeup brush or just a straight edge to make this design as well. If you're going to be drawing these points out, you can use a beige or skin tone or white liner of any kind and make those markings on the face, and they'd be easier to wipe off than if you were to use a black liner. The next point would be from that same side of the nose out to the corner edge of the underline of the lash line at the bottom. Okay, so that line is second. So the brow should not extend past A, and it should not extend past C. Next thing, you want to make sure your client is sitting down nice and straight and even, and this third line of where the arch should be is going to go right through the middle of the eye. So then you have line A, line B, and line C. Okay. Now, depending on your client and how big their forehead is the brow going to be higher? Is the brow going to be lower? That's something you as the designer is going to decide. So let's say that we're going to put her brows here, and again, you want to make sure that your line is nice and straight, but let's just say that that line is going to go here. That brow's no lower than that line there, if that's what you choose to. Okay, let's say that your highest part you want to be here. So then you're going to make your second line here. Okay, and you just have to make sure that it's nice and even, like so. Okay, so this is A, this is B, and this is C. So your brow starts here, it goes up to the point, and then it goes down to the tail. It does not go past that. Again, remembering that you're working on a flat surface, so on a person this will round out more and not look so wide because the face goes to the side. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to connect those two, right? So you're in the middle of your shape here. Okay, again, we're using geometry. You're going to start and you're going to go to the middle very lightly. Sketch it out, and then from A to B, and then from B to C. Okay, just very lightly, just to give you a good idea of where your brow should be. Okay, What you don't want is so where it starts on the inside of where the bridge of the nose is to the outside by the hairline, you don't want C to be lower than A or A to be higher than C. It should start at the same point. This top line here is so that your arch doesn't go too high up. But when you do the opposite side, first thing that I would recommend doing is going ahead and outlining that base line. See if I can get this good and straight. So you're going to outline this baseline and go all the way across. So that's going to give you some symmetry as far as where that line, the A and the B, the C, where those are going to lay at the other end. Same thing on the top side. So you want to go ahead and lay that out. Okay. When you're laying it out, this line here is going to help you know that your brow from the left to the right is going to match. It's not going to, the height is going to be the same, and then the length on how far down it goes is going to be the same on both sides. Okay. You're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. So you want to make sure that you get your straight edge nice and smooth. You're going to go to the outside of the nose, okay, and you're going to make your line, okay. Then your second line is going to go again from that corner edge of the lower lash line out, corner of the nose, and you're going to go out. And in the middle, you want to go ahead and make sure your client's looking straight and that eye is nice and straight and even. And you're going to pass through, okay, the middle of that there. Okay, remember that these two triangles, this side and this side, do not have to match, okay? But to be an even size, remember that we're working on a flat surface here, okay? All right, so then again, this is A, that second line, the arch, where the arch should be is B, and then the edge of the brow is C. How far up you go or how low you go, that it really doesn't matter, okay? So again, trying to match, so you're gonna go kind of just build the bone in the middle, so you're gonna go from A to B, okay, just kind of sketch it out. And of course, pencil would be best, and then from B to C, okay? How high, how much of an arch, how flat of a brow, that's determined by your client, or if you are designing the brow, what you think looks best on your client, okay? So then what I'll have you do is I want you to either put your ruler right in the middle, and you're gonna bend your paper, or just take and you're gonna match eye to eye. So you're just gonna check yourself. So you're just gonna match, and then you're gonna bend. And on this particular sheet, my sheet is not in the middle, so you just gotta watch for that. So as I do this, what I wanna do is I want to hold this up against the light. And so when I hold it up against the light, I can see if my lines are the same. So just let me hold it up really quick to tell you my B and C lines are good. My A lines are just a little off, and I don't know that you can maybe barely see that right there, okay? But my lines are good, and then my horizontals are good. So that is how I can practice. So on piece of paper, if you practice, once your muscles, they get that memory, you build that memory of where those lines should be, where those points should be, how to use the geometry. So once you do that and practice a lot on paper, when you transfer your movements onto someone's actual face, your hand already knows where to go, what to mark, what points to look out for. So you've got that muscle memory already built in. It's a lot easier and more precise when you go onto somebody's face and actually do it onto their face. Okay, so that is how I teach and how you could do just the basic design. There are many ways. Some people will come down and use a Cupid's bow and the lips, and that's fine. It's just one way of many ways that you can do it, but this is just the basic starting point. Okay. When you come in here, of course, nobody has just a brow that has, and I'll do it down here, nobody has, well, I'm not going to say nobody, but we don't have the Sharpie brows that we just go like this, right, and then just color it in. That's naturally not how our brows go. Our hair doesn't grow in a patch, and it just one solid, okay? We have our natural line of a brow with a natural arch for the most part. We have the middle part of it. But what you want to do, and just like, you know, as you're doing your brow, it's a bunch of tick marks. And as you know, our hair is not just one hair and it grows, and one hair and grows. We don't have these long hairs that make up our brow, right? It's a bunch of little hairs. So they all go every which way direction, but all in the same general direction. And then eventually they start coming down. Okay. How high of an arch, or how much of a teepee is what I call it, that depends on your client if they like that very heavy angle. If they don't like it, then you need to round out this top part, and then you also need to round out the tail end so it gives it more of a round instead of more of a straight edge. Okay. You also want to round out the edges just a little bit, okay, the corners, and then make a nice point on the end. Now, how much of an arch, again, that's determined by your client and how they like it. But as you're sitting, at a restaurant waiting for your food, or you're at home, you're just not doing anything, you're done with math homework, and you're just kind of sitting there, instead of sitting there not doing anything, just grab a pen or pencil and just practice these tick marks. And then just know, this is A, this is B, and this is C. You're going to connect A to B, B to C, just like when we were in elementary connecting the dots. And then you use your geometry. So maybe you're not good at eyebrows. Okay, well, not a problem. Well, all you have to do is create you a long rectangle and then create you a triangle on the end. So from this, then you want to round out, connect the two, okay? Round out your edges, okay? And as you're doing so, then you can fill it in. If you have to fill it in all the way first just to get your basic shape, that's fine. Okay, after a while, then connecting A to B and then B to C with just tick marks, okay, will get you your brow. And of course, not everybody has the same kind of brows and same kind of face shape, so there's different kinds. Some people have more of a flat brow. For like gentlemen, they have more flats. Okay, their tails are not as pointy as most ladies and most women. So their brows may be thicker all the way through. For ladies, typically it's thinner from A to B, and then from B to C, I'm sorry, did I say that right? Thick from A to B, and then thin from B to C. Okay, so don't just practice one kind of a brow. You got to practice all kinds of brows, because there's so many different designs and types out there. So this is how we learn how to do brow designs here in class. And the best thing with anything is practice, 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 because practice makes perfect. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great one.